Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Take Takers. Your attendance and support are my immense good fortune and satisfaction. Thank you. Today I bring you the sci-fi short film, State Zero. The story begins 10 years ago. In a secret biomedical lab in Stockholm. The computer screen suddenly displayed the 25th mutation. The experiment began. A young man was tightly tied to a chair. And on his hand was a bracelet with a recorded number. The experiment started quickly. A tube of black liquid was slowly injected into the man. Then the man began to convulse wildly. And his eyes instantly turned black. The scene changed 10 years later. By now Stockholm was in ruins. The city was overgrown with dense weeds everywhere. And signs of various biochemical infection zones. And there were no signs of any biological activity. What exactly happened? Originally, the 25th biomedical experiment failed. And produced an extremely infectious zombie virus. Infectors were immensely powerful. And like zombies, they bit people as soon as they saw them. Soon this zombie virus swept the globe. A very few survivors. In order to survive the apocalypse. Established a base codenamed Zero. To defend against zombie attacks. At this time, a transport plane suddenly appeared in the silent sky. On this transport plane, soldiers were preparing to carry out an extremely dangerous mission. Enter the city's infection zone. To repair a signal tower. Soon. The transport plane arrived at the location of the signal tower. And began scanning the signal tower. Strangely, there was no damage to the equipment in the signal tower. So the captain could only personally lead a small team to inspect the interior of the signal tower. At this time, the transport plane began circling in the air. And then dropped smoke bombs at the landing site. Then the captain assigned tasks to the soldiers. Knowing the danger of the situation, the soldiers looked solemn one by one. Then the soldiers began injecting the vaccine. Although this vaccine could not prevent soldiers who were bitten from eventually becoming zombies. But it still had a delaying effect. After the soldiers were ready, they immediately landed on the ground. And carefully entered the signal tower. Fortunately, along the way, they did not encounter any zombies. So the team quickly reached the equipment. And the communications soldier immediately installed the zombie radar on the pillar. The zombie radar can quickly distinguish between human and zombie footsteps. So it has a very good early warning effect. After the communications soldier checked the signal equipment one by one, he found that everything was normal and there were no problems. But the signal was still unable to transmit. So he still needed time to continue checking. So the captain ordered Little Black to guard on the spot, while he led another soldier to search the surrounding rooms. Unexpectedly, as soon as the captain left, the zombie radar detected an unidentified footsteps in the basement. So the communications soldier immediately reported this to the captain. However, the captain didn't take it to heart. Because he felt that these zombies are active in groups. A footsteps does not pose any threat to them. So he ordered Little Black to continue guarding, while the communications soldier continued repairing. After troubleshooting, the communications civilians finally found the cause of the signal equipment failure. It wasn't a problem with the signal device itself. Someone deliberately cut the signal line. And here it could only be the zombies. But zombies are all mindless freaks. Could they have evolved intelligence? Just then, the transport plane outside suddenly detected a large group of zombies approaching their building. So immediately notify the communications soldier to evacuate them. However, when the communications civilians reported this to the captain, he found that the communication signal had been interfered at this time, unable to transmit. So he could only have Little Black stay here, while he personally went to notify the captain. However, at this time, captain, when they searched to a room, they were suddenly stunned by a pattern on the wall. This was a pattern made of fresh blood. This undoubtedly made the captain doubt. Was this painted by zombies? If this is true, then it means that zombies have evolved intelligence. Then they would be in big trouble. Just then, suddenly there came a scream from the communications soldier not far away. So the captain rushed over immediately with another team member. At the same time, Little Black, who was alone guarding the equipment, also heard the footsteps, thinking it was his teammates coming back. But no matter how he called out, the other side never answered. On the screen of the zombie radar, there were many zombie signals. So in order to encourage himself, Little Black frantically fired. However, he didn't know At this time, behind him, a leader zombie quietly jumped down and looked at him viciously. On the captain's side, when they rushed to the communication soldier, they saw that the communication soldier was already kneeling on the ground. And the captain quickly realized that this must be a trap set by the zombies. So without even looking, he turned around directly and started running away with another soldier. Sure enough, it was a trap. But even though they escaped early, the soldier running behind was still ambushed by zombies. Seeing that he was about to die, the soldier immediately pulled the grenade pin and perished together with the chasing zombies. And the captain could only continue to escape. The captain barely escaped to the exit. But then he saw a figure blocking his way. And at this time, the zombies behind him surrounded. The captain saw that this was completely finished. At this time, the transport plane happened to fly to the exit. The machine guns on the plane were ready and could support the captain at any time. But at this time, the zombies and the captain were mixed together. This was awkward. Unexpectedly, at this time, a zombie with a metal bracelet slowly walked towards the captain. And the captain could only close his eyes tightly, completely gave up resistance and waited for death. Unexpectedly, the captain heard a sound of a metal bracelet falling. When he opened his eyes again, all the zombies were missing. So the captain could only pick up the bracelet and then took the transport plane to leave. The captain began to carefully examine the bracelet. Wasn't this the bracelet worn by the 25th experimental subject at the beginning of the movie? As the transport plane flew rapidly over the water surface, and just ahead of him was the last bastion of mankind, Base Zero. The movie ends here. The sci-fi film follows a team investigating a mysterious signal tower overrun by zombies. After confronting dangerous situations and losing some members, the captain escapes with a metal bracelet left behind by the zombie leader. The bracelet belonged to the 25th experimental subject referenced at the beginning of the story. While some believe the zombie leader meant for the captain to uncover the truth behind the experiments, others think the gesture was a warning for humans not to continue down the path of destruction. The fantastical yet poignant narrative serves as an allegory for humanity's struggle with ominous threats like climate change or advances in biotech outpacing ethical safeguards. The story suggests that warnings about these self-made dangers often come too late, leaving little recourse but to change course and stop repeating past mistakes or face dire consequences. The genre conventions around zombies and apocalyptic scenarios make such messages more accessible by framing them within familiar tropes and experiences that connect with audiences on an instinctual level. Well, what will be the next classic sci-fi movie? Please comment below in the comments section. Take Takers will arrange it for you as soon as possible. Thank you.